So I didn't know what it was, and I didn't know how close the bullets came until Bosnia, actually until Afghanistan. And then I realized, my goodness, I almost was shot. And so then I was just functioning probably with an adrenal gland the size of a grapefruit or a watermelon. I was completely involved in trying to get the story and in witnessing what was happening. And the kind of concept of personal safety, I didn't do anything that was outrageously stupid, but I basically was at a place where the PLA began to open fire late, relatively around 9:30 p.m. on Saturday, June 3rd, and people around me were shot. I was at a certain point face down in the gutter, and then I moved with the crowd, and then I realized what I wanted to do was to follow the PLA as they moved along Chang'an Street, and so I paralleled them because there's lots of alleyways on my bicycle, and I would go down to the intersections, but not at the intersections because that was where all the fighting when the shooting was happening, but close enough to get an idea of what was happening at each intersection. And then I biked around and got into the square. And like I said, once I got to the square, it's like I've made it. And then at the same moment I said, "You idiot, how are you going to leave?" Because they were obviously closing in onto the square from all sides. But it was one of these things where I was, it was a complete adrenaline experience for me, and I was really interested in getting this and witnessing this, and I was just lucky that that cell phone continued to work. Later on, in Bosnia, you're dealing with flak jackets, an armored car, because we were targets. The Serbs like to kill us with their snipers, and then we were also in situations where there's fighting, and so I would kit myself up to the best that I could to protect myself. But sometimes things happen. I was lying in my bed at 9:30 p.m. one night. I went to bed early in Sarajevo, and an 82mm shell hit outside my window and blew up my room. But I was very lucky because there was shrapnel in my headboard of my bed, literally, embedded. And if that had gone through me, it would have gone through me. But I had glass all over me, but I didn't, bleed a drop of blood. Although that evening I went down to the basement, wrapped myself up into the flak jacket, and slept on the concrete floor. But that's, you have so many coupons in the book.